Dragon's Dogma is around the corner, and like many of you, I literally can't wait to put my hands on it. So far, there has been a lot of interesting information about the game, some new features were shown to us, we saw some amazing footages, but there are still many new and interesting things left that we will only discover when the game comes out. In today's video, I want to talk about vocations. What are they, how they work, and everything we know about new vocations, but also about the old ones from the first game. Quick reminder, in case you want to support my work and the channel in general, the best way to do that is by pressing that subscribe button. Become a member of our small gaming family and let's grow together. Okay, for all of you that don't know, vocations are actually character classes the player can choose in the game. The vocation or class you choose for the arisen or your pawns. And yes, in case you didn't know, you'll be able to choose the vocation for your main pawn, one that you create at the beginning of the game. In Dragon's Dogma 2, 10 vocations will be available and will be sorted into 3 categories: Basic, Advanced and Hybrid. The Advanced vocations represent higher level playstyles and capabilities that evolved from the basic vocations. Hybrid vocations, as you can assume, are combinations of the playstyles of 2 vocations. Have in mind that basic vocations doesn't mean they're weaker, it just means you start off with it as an option. Also, the advanced vocations, although they have more complicated mechanics, it doesn't mean they are necessarily stronger. So, to be clear, basic vocations are ones you can choose at the beginning of the game. For advanced vocations, you must find certain trainer and learn it from him, and hybrid vocations combine strengths of 2 vocations in something new. So, buckle up and let's start with the basic first. Fighter is a standard starting class that most of you will probably play. It wields a one-headed sword to slice through his enemies and shield to protect themselves and the allies. This vocation lends itself to defense rather than dealing massive damage, making the playstyle more of a frontline tank. But that doesn't mean Fighter can do decent damage, just the opposite. If you learn how to play Fighter the right way, you will be able to do tons of damage. As the Fighter levels up, they can enhance shield skills, offering you and your allies increased protection. Moreover, based on what was available in the first game, there are likely to also be skills which taunt enemies. Other available skills could enhance your damage dealing abilities, turning a high-level fighter into a formidable force on the battlefield. Mage is a ranged class which can wield magic offensively, defensively, or in support of the entire party. In the first Dragon's Dogma, only vocations using a staff had access to a single healing spell. This made mages an incredibly valuable addition to any party, and as a starting vocation it is also available to pawns. But mages can be weak against melee enemies. If they can successfully keep their distance, their offensive spells can pick a powerful punch. It is not easy to play mages in Dragon's Dogma. For some powerful spells you need lifetime to cast and you can easily be interrupted. That means you need to constantly keep distance from enemies, especially melee ones, and the flexibility between support and damage rolls make this starting vocation potentially more complex to master. Also, I need to mention that Dragon's Dogma have one of the best magic systems ever, and the animation for spells looks absolutely amazing. So if for nothing else, then for the visual effect I will decide to play this vocation definitely. Another ranged vocation is Archer. Archers attack their enemies by dealing physical damage at range. Unfortunately, they don't have great defense and are therefore more nimble. In Dragon's Dogma, Archer's playstyle is awesome. You can move relatively fast, shoot all kinds of arrows, jump, grab. It can easily make you feel like your character in the game is Legolas. As you level your archer, they gain access to skills which allow you to shoot arrows more quickly or even to fire multiple arrows at once. Also, some other skills will improve your mobility, allowing you to disengage and put some extra distance between you and any attacking enemies. Note that archers typically do not deal single powerful blows, rather they rely on their quickness and skill to fire multiple arrows in a row. And the last basic vocation is Thief. This vocation primarily focuses on delivering quick bursts of melee damage to enemies. Unfortunately, they don't have the defensive capabilities of the fighter and will need to be careful that they don't get caught in the middle of a group of enemies. As a thief, you are highly mobile and strike quickly many times, rather than deal a single powerful blow. As you progress through the game, you will not improve only your damage, but also your mobility. This is really important for this vocation, cause it will allow you to easily dodge attacks and also more easily climb on larger enemies in order to deal critical blows. When it comes to advanced vocations, there are only 2 of them in the game, Warrior and Sorcerer. The warrior vocation has no need of the fighter's shield. They rely on their heavy armor and robust constitution to carry them through combat. While they are not as reliably tanky as fighters, warriors make up for this through a massive increase in damage. They actually specialize in fighting with two-handed weapons such as the great sword and hammer, therefore they can charge up their attacks, landing powerful single blows. Now, as a warrior, you will also be able to level up unique skills, which allow you to attack multiple enemies with a single swing of your weapon. As I already mentioned, as a warrior, you won't be able to be as good tank as fighter, but with great timing, strategy and positioning, warriors can easily counterattack or charge up their attacks to deliver a powerful blow, dealing great damage to large opponents and clearing out smaller enemies. On top of their great damaging abilities, their strength can easily stagger or knock down enemies, giving your team free rein to charge in and attack. Now, when it comes to Sorcerer vocation, choosing this one will take your magic wielding abilities to whole another level. Sorcerers specialize in ranged magic attacks and use both hands to channel their arcane energy through large staves. They will have access to spells that can deal area of effect damage, making them overall more potent than their mage counterparts. However, the cost of this power is that it takes longer to charge and cast such spells. This can be a problem if you are a beginner and don't have previous experience. Usually as a spellcaster, you have a lower defense and you are, let's say, much easier to get killed than the other classes. Plus to that, getting hit while channeling your spell can interrupt the cast and you'll have to seek safety and start over, especially with the Sorcerer vocation, considering you will need more time to cast your spells. In this case, the positioning is crucial, and what you need to do is to ensure your Sorcerer is out of range as far as possible from enemies. Also, having a good tanky pawn is highly welcomed. No matter how challenging this vocation can look like, once you master it, the amount of damage you deal will be enormous. Now, when it comes to hybrid vocations in Dragon's Dogma 2, there will be 4 hybrid vocations and they will be available only to you, the Arisen, and not to your pawns, including your main pawn. How you'll be able to unlock these new vocations in the second game remains to be seen. In the original game, hybrid vocations become available to players upon reaching level 10. However, since the sequel is changing the advanced vocations to require the completion of a quest, it's likely that the method for unlocking hybrid vocations is changed too. So, the first hybrid vocation is Mystic Spearhand. This is a completely new vocation in the game, but a lot of people say it resembles the first game's Mystic Knight. The Mystic Spearhand vocation specializes in both melee and magic, so this means that you, if you decide to go this way, will have the ability to attack at both close and long range. To be able to do that, you will use specialized weapon for this vocation, called the Dual Spear. This weapon, besides its unique for this vocation, will allow you to attack multiple enemies simultaneously with deadly points that cap both ends. Balancing with your weapon and your magic abilities, it seems that as a Mystic Spear you will have great crowd control. Also, some abilities will allow you to paralyze your enemies or throw the bodies of defeated enemies directly at other attackers. Magick Archer is my favorite and I will definitely go with this vocation at my first run. The Magick Archer is the perfect blend of the Archer and Sorcerer, and their ranged attacks have extra added effects that give them a combo that almost always secures a direct hit. With this vocation, you will need to be strategic with the combat approach, considering they are high risk but high reward class. What this means is that their ranged abilities vary and can take up the battle area while sacrificing some of their health points. Magick Archer will primarily engage in a long-range combat, utilizing magical arrows for shooting and casting spells, and their arrows are far superior to their physical counterparts as they always hit their intended target. Also, as a Magick Archer, you can specifically choose the elemental nature of your arrows, which will allow you to target enemies based on their specific weaknesses. The Trickster is another brand new hybrid vocation in Dragon's Dogma 2, and this is vocation which specializes in conjuring illusions through the smoke created by their unique weapon called the Censer. This vocation sounds really interesting and unique to play. The amount of things you can do as a Trickster is huge. For example, Trickster can create illusions that can cause a group of enemies to attack each other or be used as a taunt to draw their attacks. Additionally, you can use the smoke to create a Spectre clone which can draw the focus of attackers. Another interesting ability will actually allow you to create false areas of cliffs or walls you can see through but enemy can't, so you can isolate them or lead them to death. Additionally, as a Trickster, you will also have the ability to temporarily increase the power of your pawns beyond their normal limits. if you are looking for a class that has more of a support role, but on the other side can actually do a lot of harm to enemies and it's interesting to play, don't look further, Trickster is the perfect choice for you. The fourth and the last hybrid vocation in Dragon's Dogma 2 is the Warfarer. In my opinion, this is the hardest vocation to master, considering that if you choose to play this one, you will be able to use any combination of 3 weapons in the game, and you will be able to switch between any 3 different vocations you choose. This sounds really interesting, and it seems that the Warfarer is a jack of all trades in the game. However, because Warfarers have access to many skills, they will likely not be able to level skills as high as single focused vocation. This doesn't mean that this vocation is weak, just the opposite. With good combination of abilities and good combos, you can become an unstoppable killing machine. Considering you will be able to use all 3 weapons in the game, it is a little bit harder to be skilled with all 3 of them, which means if you are new in the game and don't have previous experience, don't go with Warfarer for your first run. Anyway, no matter which vocation you choose, I am more than sure you will have tons of fun. Although I said I will go Magick Archer for my first run, to be honest, I am not 100% sure. I would also like to play as a warrior, and maybe as a mystic Spearhand. They are all good on their own ways, it only depends on your specific playstyle which one will suit you the most. What is your pick? Feel free to tell me in comment section down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the upcoming videos. A lot of interesting games await us in upcoming period and tons of new and interesting content. I hope you enjoyed. That will be all, and I'll see you in the next one.